Hello Reborners, my name is Karen and this is Making Dolls with Karen. I got some babies out. One of them's Caspian. He's a real born from Bountiful Baby. Um, he's very, very cute. Well, all of these are real borns actually. I've also got Emma. She's an older kit and she, I guess, was discontinued. She's not even in the discontinued kits right now. So she must have been discontinued a while back. I never noticed that she disappeared, but she was gone. She's a 3/4 limb baby. Well, at least her arms are. They used to make a lot of their realborns in 3/4 arms. Thomas and Presley and Chase and a lot of them. And it was no big deal. Nobody cared. But now everybody wants the uh, full arm babies. So I switched her arms out for some Anna arms. They're nice and big like her arms were, and they're full. So no big deal. And this one is Emmy. Emmy newborn, asleep. All three of my babies are sleeping. The other baby I have is Frankie. He's in the oven now. I sealed him a couple days ago, and I've been baking them. You know, they have to have 2 bakes and a cool in between. But anyway, this is Emmy, and I gave her also, she has 1/4 limbs. Little tiny feet, little tiny hands. I gave her some full limbs as well. And she's going to have pearl limbs. But I wanted to show you all the difference in the color of these kits. I don't know if you can see it on camera as well as I can see it here, but all 3 of these kits are a different color. This one is the normal peachy color that you see most of your kits being. Now Emma's made out of the older vinyl because she's no longer in production. So any kits you get of her would be the older vinyl. And she is kind of that waxy kind of looking. She's sealed, so she looks a little different. But this kit right here is another example of it. This is a kit that came from McPherson's. It's very waxy looking, and her kit's that way too. But sealed, she's a little different. And then there's Emmy. And Emmy she's one of the kits that came from what they call the Bad Factory. Her and Steven and Claudia, and there were a few. Alyssa, I think. You can tell their rims are different. Their rims look very different. And these came from that other factory, and a lot of the kits are yellow. Harlow, she was yellow. I don't know if they turned yellow or they just made them with yellower looking vinyl. I don't know. But, you know, some of them, they'll come out with different skin tones. She's kind of a peachy color, but she's more peachy than him. At one time, the kits looked darker. They looked more like they were peachy, like her. And then they started looking more whitish, almost like there's no color to him at all. He's still a little peachy. Now she's just right down yellow. A lot of people would neutralize her. I'm not going to, because it just makes a darker baby to begin with. And I like darker babies anyway. They come out just fine without neutralizing. She's not that yellow. A lot of people go, oh my goodness. I've seen them where they were yellow, like the color yellow. This one's just I think she just probably set up a long time and just yellowed a little bit. But she's just slightly yellow. It's no big deal. None of these need neutralizing, in my opinion. Now, Emmy's going to have a different color limbs. I don't know if you can tell that these limbs are a different color than her head. But, and so will Emma. She's going to have her own legs. So you can tell a lot better with the legs. Here's her leg. At least I can tell. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up. Here's her leg, and here's the arms I'm going to use on her. And they are different colors. I don't know if you can tell it. This is a different tone than this one. And it's also a different kind of vinyl. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how vinyls can be so different. I don't know if it's a quality of vinyl they're using or a process of molding it that makes it different. I don't know. But I just know they're different. But the difference in those limbs are going to be slight. Very, very slight. But Caspian, he has got the cutest little limbs. Look at that. Look at those little hands. They're just so, so cute. I'm going to be doing Caspian for sure. I usually try to do 2 dolls at one time, and I can already tell that he has a place on the back of his leg. I usually feel of him real good. He's got a place on the back of his leg that didn't get enough sealer. It still feels slick. I'm going to have to dot that with a little sealer and give him another couple bakes, because that will not color the same. It will be a lot lighter and streaky looking. So that's one reason I sealed him. But anyway, he is super adorable. I probably could crease him at the same time, because the part that doesn't have any sealer is just the back of the leg right here where there's no creases anyway. I could crease him all over and dot that with some sealer and go on and bake him, you know, and not waste a bake. I think I'll do that. So I'm going to be working on Caspian for sure. That's this one. And one of these, probably off camera. I don't know which one yet. I want to work on both of them really bad. So I might just do Emmy first. And I have Frankie in the oven baking right now for his sealer. So it's a possibility I'll do him at the same time I do Emma. I'll do Emmy in Caspian, and then I'll do Emma in Frankie. But you'll only see one of them, because I just can't do two on camera at the same time. It's too hard. But the first step I'm going to do on Caspian is I'm going to crease him. And I've used my pencil now several times without sharpening it. So I'm going to put a little bit of a sharper tip on it, just a little bit. I don't want it super sharp. It makes too skinny of a line. But I'm using henna is the color. It's a reddish brown color. I know I keep saying that every time, but I've gotten to the point in my videos where I have so many, 700 and something, that I'm wanting to delete some of my videos, some of the older ones, because, you know, when you start using newer techniques, and somebody's watching one of your videos for the first time and they're watching a really old one, they're going to see some old technique that you used to use and have abandoned for a better technique. So I like to erase some of them sometimes. I may go through and erase maybe 10 different doll series. Ladybug. Ugh. We're expecting an order from Walmart. That might be it. But there, I've only done the two little lines in his finger right there. I don't know if you can tell the difference in this finger and this finger. I have to go see what she's barking at. Ladybug! Dry it, dog! Get back! Anything? No. She's barking at nothing. I'm recording and she's barking too much. I had to get up and see what she's barking at. Coffee's ready. I'm going to get me some as soon as I stop recording. Yeah, just like I thought, it's nothing. She barks at butterflies and everything. Anyway, yes, I just lightly crease my dolls. I don't do heavy dark creases because they just look so fake to me. But this is a way to not have to waste a bake. I don't like to bake for no reason. I mean, there is a reason, but, you know, just because you forgot to put some sealer on a certain part of your doll, you know, that seems like a wasted bake to me. So I'm going to do the creasing and then dab on that little bit of sealer. I watched an artist make Caspian, and they chose him because he has not so bad of creases. A lot of people won't hardly do Bountiful Babies because they say they have too many creases, but I like the amount of creases he has. I think they're cute. Certain amounts of creases to me are... Now, there are some dolls that do have too many creases. I think Ashley is one of them, Real Born Ashley. She is super creased up. She's supposed to represent a preemie, I think. And you know, preemies are kind of wrinkly. So naturally, they're going to have a lot more creases than a full-term baby would. She's only 17, I think, inches. I'm not sure. If not, she's just super, super skinny. And I guess that's why. There's her hand done on the back. And here, I mean, yeah, the back of her hand and the inside of her hand. His hand, rather. Now I'm going to do these other creases, these more superficial ones. I think that little boy next door, those little kids next door are out playing. It is Labor Day, so they don't have to go to school today. A lot of school districts in some states don't start till after Labor Day, but we start early in August here. I don't know why. I remember when I was going to school, most of the places, not here in Tennessee, but most of the places that we lived during the years I was a school-age child, school started after Labor Day. But you went almost all the way up till June. Different states have different things, different rules. Even different cities do. I know the Memphis city schools start at a different time, and they get out at a different time too. But it's not drastically different. It might be a day or two off. I think they started around the 8th or the 7th or early, and she's just going to bark. Them kids are out playing. The barking, the barking. I do not like it. Yeah, this is the one that needs the sealer. I don't even know if there's enough on this rag to do it. Probably is. The sealer takes forever to dry on a sponge. Yep, I can feel it. So there's the sealer that he needed on the back of his leg. I'm hoping I got it all I did. Sometimes I just have to feel of it to see if it's covered. And when you're touching the doll, you're going to tell that some parts may or may not have sealer on them. And you're going to want to put some sealer on them if they don't have it. Some people don't seal their dolls first. I didn't used to. But I think I told the story about a million times of why I seal my dolls. But here we go. We'll tell it again. I used to work on my dolls just as they were because that's just what they taught you to do. And I noticed sometimes there was parts of the doll that would not color. You could try and try and try again, and it just wouldn't take the paint very good. So one time I was just very aggravated about this one spot on the doll. I don't really remember what spot it was at this point, because on different dolls it's different spots. And the spot just wouldn't color, and I was very aggravated by it. And I was down to being finished with the doll. And I had put sealer on the doll. Ladybug! Oh, good grief, she's driving me nuts. I had put some sealer on the doll to protect it, you know, at the end. And I said, I'm gonna hit that one more time with some color. Just one more time. And I did, and it took it. And I thought, wow, what a difference a little sealer made. And so I decided one time to try to seal my doll first and see if it made a difference or no difference. And it made a huge difference. And so I decided after that I would seal my dolls first. It just takes no time hardly to crease your doll up. I may do his fingernails and lips as well. No sense in wasting a bake. I could actually do his most of his enhancements, because most of them are done on parts you didn't crease anyway. And I don't really put any enhancements on the back of their legs. So that's where he needed the sealer put. Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of creases, and some of them are super superficial. Super superficial, if that's a word. Which reminds me of another word that I just heard somebody on the internet say wasn't a real word. I happen to know it is because it's in the dictionary, but people didn't. I think there was a time when people didn't use this word, and uh, it has a strange meaning to me. Uh, so let's go about it like this. If you regard somebody, it means you pay attention to it or whatever. If you're regarding something. And then there's disregard. That means you don't pay attention to somebody. You just, you don't care what they're saying. You disregard it. And if you say the word regardless, to me that means regardless of what you may think, and despite what you may think, blah, 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 whatever the rest of it is. And then there's this other word, irregardless. And people use it exactly the same as regardless. Irregardless of what you may think, blah, 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 whatever the rest of it is. So, is irregardless a word or not? Some people say yes. Some people say no. I looked it up, and I'm gonna vein him now. I'm using aquamarine. There is a darker pencil called turquoise, but I think it's too dark. But that's something you have to decide for yourself. I like this color. I was looking to see if I had one out, but I think I've put them up, the ones I don't use, because sometimes I'm looking at this pencil and I grab the other one by accident. Now this pencil I like to keep a rounded tip on. If it's pointy, now, the pointiness of your tip is going to have a lot to do with how fat your vein's going to be. Plus, the pressing down. How hard are you pressing down? If you press down really hard, of course you're going to get a fatter line than if you press down just very lightly. And the color will also be determined by how much you press down. How dark is it? If you don't think that's so, do like I did when I was a kid, color a picture and then outline it. You press down harder when you're outlining because you want a darker line. Anyway, I start way up here on the head where I'm going to put hair so I can get my squiggle right before I get down closer to his face where there's not going to be hair. And we just make a big squiggly line, and then we just put a big squiggly branch off of it. And it looks like that a little bit, and you can see that really good, I know. But I'm going to take this really clean sponge, and I'm going to rub it. And it's going to disappear beautifully into the background. And what you're going to see is nothing, because I can only see it. And it's very vague, and that's the way it's supposed to be, because it is an undertone. It's under the skin. You don't really want to see it boldly. If you see it boldly, it is too dark. And now I'm going to use this Sandbar brown pencil, and I'm going to give him some eyebrows. I'm going to follow his brow line. See, he has a brow line here, a brow ridge or whatever you call it, just like you do up here on your forehead, where your eyebrow is. You can feel of it. It's right above your eye socket, just like his is. And if you follow that, you won't have any trouble making an eyebrow. And this is super round. I probably should sharpen it, but I'm just going to make a little wispy straight line. So I'm not going to sharpen it. I don't make dark, thick eyebrows, and I don't try to put those individual hairs because it just becomes too much. Babies are supposed to have wispy little hardly eyebrows because unless they're super hairy babies, some babies are born very hairy. They even have a lot of hair on their face. Uh, and to me, those are pretty good eyebrows. You may not can see them on camera, but I can certainly see them. And that's certainly enough eyebrows for me. Now, if you want to put capillaries, this is also the time to do it. I don't put very many capillaries. I experimented with capillaries for a while, and I decided, they're just not worth it. And anyway, I'm just going to rose him up a bit. I haven't put any blue on his forehead because I don't think my blue sponges have got any sponges. My blue brushes have got any color in them. I've used them and haven't re-dipped them, so there's that. Be careful. Get it all over your fingers, and everywhere you touch your doll, you're going to get blue on. I usually keep baby wipes on my table, but I have run out, and I haven't went in there and got another package out of my bathroom. I keep them in the bathroom. I don't know. There's no room in here. And my blue is kind of thick. It's thick because I put a lot of thinning medium in it, because the thinner it is, the less it's going to stick to your doll. I'm going to put it on a sponge. It seems to stick a little better that way. And I'm just going to put a little across his forehead. And it looks kind of like that, which is way too dark. But I'm going to take this here sponge and I'm going to dab it off. And you're going to be able to see this a little bit more than I probably want to. If I had done it with the brush, it probably wouldn't have been this much. But I can always take my kabuki. I have one for every color. It is quite an investment to get as many paintbrushes as I have, but I don't buy those really expensive paintbrushes that you see a lot of artists use, and you can tell they're extremely expensive because they're all those special weird shapes and stuff. Like there'll be one that'll come out and then it'll bend. And I'm sure they're great for getting in little cracks and crevices and corners and things on your doll. But I use cheaper brushes because I want a brush for every color. And I don't want to have to wash my brushes. And it takes out all the paint that you've sort of let gather in your paintbrush so that you could dry paint. And if you're using heat set, you are going to want to dry paint because it's super great. I'm just going to put a little on the bottom of his foot here, and I'm going to dab it a bit. He's probably going to have two different things of enhancements because, well, I don't know, maybe he won't. I was thinking because of his sealer on his back of his leg, but I don't know, maybe he won't. I could do one round and then bake him one time and then do the other round and bake him the second time for his sealer. That's all the blue I'm going to do. I have a lot of red brushes. I did dip them. So I'm going to try to put a little bit of red on his fingers and toes and stuff while his face is drying a little more. He won't hardly sit up. For one thing, the table is kind of thick with paper towels and stuff, and it makes it uneven. And for another thing, well, I just have his head stuffed, probably crooked or something. That also plays a part in them sitting up or not. So a lot of times you have to lay them down in the oven. Now I'm just going to put these little stripes on his fingers like I did with that. What doll was that? It was Lane. I was demonstrating how to do that. This is an open hand, and you'll be able to see it much, much better on this hand. I'm not fully covering the fingers because I want them to look like that picture. I tried to show y'all a picture. I don't know if you could see it on my phone or not. I screenshotted a picture of somebody's, I don't know who it was, but It wasn't my picture, and I made that clear. I did not paint that doll. I just liked the way the person painted the fingers. And so I screenshotted it, and I wanted to show y'all the technique. And so it almost makes their finger look striped. Can you tell that? Oh, it's a very cute effect to me. These two fingers are fused together, so I'm just going to do them together. Now, if you're doing front and backs like I'm doing, you have to remember to get the sides, because it's going to look super weird if you don't. To have the front and the back, but not the side painted. Uh, whatever part you paint on the front and the back, you have to paint that part on the sides as well. So take your time and just do whatever you want to do to the fingers. Some people just paint the entire finger, which that's fine too. I've done it many, many times. And but I want to try to get this effect that I saw on that artist, whoever it was. I don't even remember who it was. But they used that technique on their doll's hands. And I really liked it. So that's what I'm going for here. It's just a little bit of color in each section of their finger. And then that one has run out of color already. Let me see if I can find another one up here that might have some color in it and not be too fat to use.
The tomatoes are out of stock, and some is salt.
All the tomatoes?
The ones I'm buying,
Oh, well, we got the slicing ones, right?
I guess.
And so is what else?
The salt.
Salt is out of stock?
Yep.
Wow. Isn't that weird? That Walmart would be out of salt.
Especially since it was plain with no iodine. People usually buy iodized salt, don't they?
Yeah. Now on the thumb, I just do it. The thumb seems to have only 2 sections in it, so I try to just do 2 sections.
And it looks like we only got 2 things eggs instead of 3 or 4, or whatever you ordered.
Maybe they're in another bag.
Maybe.
I ordered 3, I think. I'm not sure. We're gonna have a big dinner for my sister's birthday, and I wanted to make deviled eggs and 2 or 3 different things that you might need eggs for. So I ordered a few, and then we have to have eggs for us to eat too. So I ordered several dozen because we're going to be using a lot of eggs, and we didn't get them all. That's what she's saying. Now you can really see on this hand what I'm talking about only painting the little sections of the hand like it's a puzzle or something. You don't do the whole thing. You just do those little sections. And then on the back of the hand, I'm just going to swirl a little red paint on it just to cheek it up a little, And look at that hand. I think it's cute. And here's the back of it. Well, the inside of it, rather. I think it's super cute. Now I'm going to do this one, hopefully the same way. Usually the brush is running out of paint and it'll end up lighter or something. I can always switch to another brush, though. My brushes are plenty good. I dipped my red brushes the other day when I was getting finished with the doll I was working on. Yeah, this doesn't have any more paint in it. I need another brush. Some of these brushes just do not hold any paint at all. That one doesn't have a bit. With the fingers as open as they are, I can probably use a fatter brush. When they're bent up, you have to have a really skinny brush, or it just won't get down in there. When the fingers are bent down or something, you have to be really careful not to get it on the parts you don't want it on. And it's really hard with a fat brush, but when the hands are open like this, it's much easier to get your effect you want and everything. Now I'm doing the sections of the hand. This one doesn't look quite as good as the other one. I don't know why. For one thing, I don't think I did it any.
Why did you put that table there?
It's always been there.
Well, it seemed to be crashing into it.
Well, it's always been there. Yeah, I think I wiped off some of the creases on this hand. Or did I even crease it? It doesn't look like it's been creased. I thought I creased it, but maybe I didn't. It just doesn't look creased at all. Pretty sure I did, but I must have wiped it off. If you wait to put that stuff up, I'll help you. I gotta get to the end of this video, though. Oh, well, she went back outside. She didn't hear me. Okay, there's that hand. Now I'm going to, if you wait to put it up, I'll help you.
Okay.
Now I'm going to do his toes. As soon as I get to the end of this video, I'll help you. It's in the door now, just sit down. She's killing herself bringing in the groceries.
I can sit on my bed. There's no more room anywhere else.
I just love the little red feet. They're just so cute. Same thing about the feet. If you're just painting the bottom of the foot, that's fine. Just paint the bottom of the foot. But if you're going to paint the top and the bottom, you're going to need to do the sides and everything. There, that shows a little better now.
I think I forgot the bread.
You forgot to get bread?
I forgot it. It's up on the chair out there.
Oh.
No, I forgot to get lunch meat's what I forgot to get.
We get our groceries delivered because we don't have a car, so we have no way to go shopping, and it's just a lot easier if we just get them delivered. But we're at their mercy, kind of. What they pick out. Like if you get a head of lettuce, they might pick you a raunchy one that's all brown and yucky. Usually you can get that remedied, though. You can call the customer service and they'll make it right. You won't have lettuce, but you won't pay for the icky lettuce either. I just put my fingers all in his new sealer. I'm going to have to put some more on there. Look at that. That's so cute. Gotta make sure it's still covered. I think it is, but let me just make sure here. Yeah, it is. Okay, now for his face. Oh, this is the hard part because I can never get it as colored as I want it. I want a bigger brush that has a lot more paint in it than that one. Because I want to give him rosy, rosy face. because that's the only way it's going to show at the end. Now you want to rose up their eyes a little bit, maybe not as much as the rest of them. Whether or not you do their nose and their ears, that's all preferences, but you can do them or not do them, whatever you want to do. I like to give them a little color all over their face, just a little, because if you don't, some spots just look extremely white, even after you've colored them with all the colors, because their face is rosy, and it makes the rest of them just look pale in comparison. And I usually do a couple coats of this before I bake them, and then sometimes I'll still go back and do another coat after they've baked, because, well, it starts to come back off if you're keep on putting colors on top of each other. You just really need to dry it first with your heat gun or something. That's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to stick a little heat to it so I can go on and put another coat on it right away. Caspian's very smooth. He hardly has any wrinkles on him at all. Okay, now that we've got his face somewhat red, and it's a little hot, and it's dry, we can go on and put another coat of red on him. All these brushes have to be dipped. I'm going to get one from over here that's fresher. These are ones I dipped more recently, and I can have 3 different jars of red brushes. Yeah, I use that many. And so I always know which one's the last one I dip because they have fresher brushes in them. So if I need a really, deep red, I'll use one of these fresher brushes. Let's see if we can get him a little redder than he already is now. Now, when you're doing this, you want to keep in mind not to go too dark, even though we know in our mind that colors are going to get lighter as they bake. We still do not want to go too dark. We don't want to make him just bloody red. Now, this might look bloody red to you, but the thing about it is, after a lot of color goes on his face, and he's baked a number of times, he's not going to look nearly as red as he does right now. And we don't have to do his entire face over again because, well, we've already given him some color all over his face. Now we're just trying to kind of darken and deepen some of that color. And you can take your sponge and dab away and even rub if you don't like the level of red you have. Before you bake, it's much easier to remove some of those colors. I'm going to give him a little bit more on his nose. And I think he looks good. That's pretty good, I think. We want it to be sort of dark. We want it to be feathered out on the edges. We want it to, not be too stark. It sounds like we want perfection, and kind of we do. I like that color. That looks good for his face to me. Now I'm going to do his lips and his nails, and then we'll get him in for his bake. Um, Lips and nails are super easy. We just use our little thinning medium with color in it. Oops, don't fall. I hate it when my dolls fall off the table or something. Sometimes they do, and they end up falling on something like some polyfill you spilled, or some glass beads you spilled or something, or just dust from your floor, and then it's stuck to their paint. That's it. Okay, Caspian, let's give you some lips. He has very thin little lips, very thin. And we're going to stay on his lip line, and we're not going to worry about if his color is deep enough on this first coat. I have to take my glasses off because I can't see him very well. I really, really need to get to that eye doctor. One of these days I'm going to come on and say, well, I got to that eye doctor. But I don't know when that's going to be, because the closest one that takes my insurance is in the next county over, and our bus ride only stays in our own county. I don't know how. I'll have to get one of my sons to take off work or something and take me to the eye doctor. Sometimes they take a vacation day if I really need a doctor enough. Like the heart doctor or something. I have to go occasionally to the heart doctor because I have several things wrong with me. I have an aortic aneurysm, and I have some bad heart valves, and I have congestive heart failure. So needless to say, it's important to see the cardiologist. I'm going to put a little color in his nose. I used to put a little puddle of red in there, let it sit for a while, and then swab it out. But I noticed it's not leaving any color behind. So now I just try to coat the whole inside of their nose and just leave it in there. I don't swab it out. And then it looks a little more like the inside of his nose is colored. Now his lips don't look very dark, but that's just his first coat. And it doesn't really matter if they look all that dark or not. Oops, don't put them up against your brushes. Yeah, I think this is the one with the stuff on the back. Yeah, it is. Be a little careful. Now remember, when you're doing the nails, you don't want to have too much on the nail at one time, especially on your first coat. Your first coat should be very, very thin, because you're just trying to make a layer there for the next coat to stick on. It doesn't even matter if it shows a color, because every time you paint the doll again, you get another chance. You don't always have to paint the nails again, but if you need to, you have another chance to do it. So you don't have to worry about this is the only time we're going to paint them, because it's not. And like I said, even if no color shows at all, it's perfectly fine, because we're just putting a skim of paint on it. And that's going to help the paint on the next coat stick much, 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 much better. And on that coat, we'll make sure it's darker. Yeah, it was the other one. I want to hold them here, but the back of that other one's leg had wet sealer on it. It's just a little tiny area on the back of his leg that I'm not going to be enhancing, so it doesn't matter. But I should have waited until I was almost ready to put him in the oven and then put it on him, because that way I wouldn't be touching it all the time. I'm going to have to check it before I put him in and make sure I didn't take it all off. With his toes already being pink, this first layer is probably not going to show very much at all. When he comes out, I'll be going, see, can't even see it. Might see it a little bit, but that's all. And some of them you might see a little better than others. Not sure about this toe. Oh my goodness. Barely has a nail at all. No, let's see these fingernails. His hands are so, so cute. So, so cute. Sometimes I buy kits when they're on sale because I like the limbs. And I have another doll that I like the head, but I dislike their limbs. And I'll trade them around because I've already made, say it was Caspian, and I ordered 2 Caspians because they were on sale and I liked its limbs. And I use one set for the Caspian I'm making, and the other set I might use for another doll and give the second Caspian that other doll's limbs. Because, well, I like the limbs and I want another doll to have those cute limbs. And I do that sometimes. But I always try to remember. I don't always remember. Sometimes I don't even remember that the doll has alternate limbs. I always try to put it in the listing when I list them. So-and-so doll with alternate limbs. And people want to know these things. This one lady, I actually put it, this just shows you how people do not read the listings. I put it in the listing. I made a Steven. Steven has cute limbs too. And I had several Stevens, awake and asleep, that I bought back when he was still in stock, normally as a regular baby, you know. And I switched out some of the Stevens, their limbs. And so I was making this one Steven, and he had alternate limbs. And I put in the listing alternate limbs. And the lady said, I want to see a picture of him without any clothes on, just, you know, naked. So, okay. And she said, I don't believe those are his right limbs. I'm not going to buy him. I said, it's in the listing that they're not his right limbs. And people ask questions that are clearly covered in the listing. How big is he? It's in the listing. I don't say that. I just tell them, but, you know, how much does he weigh? It's in the listing. You know, just all kinds of things like that. And it's kind of, especially at 3 o'clock in the morning. Yes, people will message you at 3 o'clock in the morning to know how long a doll is. You know, well, it's 3 in the morning, but he's 17 inches, you know. This one lady just kept messaging me. It was in the middle of the night like that. And I said, do you realize what time it is? And she said, oh, I'm just a night owl. I go, well, I'm not. You know, I was asleep. And you want to know silly things like, what outfit is he coming in? Is he going to be wearing a diaper? Does he take a magnetic pacifier? Everything's in the listing. But here you go. Here's the information. You know, I don't say that because it's rude, but, you know, you're thinking it because you're going, okay, I was sleeping, but okay, whatever, you know. But anyway, it just goes to show you that people do not care. They don't care about what you're going through, what you think or feel, only their self. That's harsh, I know. It sounds very, very harsh, but it's really, really, really true. Anyway, we're going to get little Caspian in the oven and get him baked, and when we come back, I think we might be ready to start some layers, because I was very shocked to be able to get as much done on him at one time as I did. But anyway, please remember to like, subscribe, and share, and happy reborning.